crowd this evening, and the lovely Shannon operating our camera for us. Get ready? Alright, well, let's begin. My name is Ken Inman. Our subject tonight regards pit bulls and that they are not a good family pet. I'd like to get things started with a short video here. This occurred in New York City. As you can see, the lady and her child walking across as a dog comes from across this road and attacks this child. I assume this is the mother. She's trying to get the child away from the dog. Thankfully, passers-by rush in and start to assist her. And you can see in this video how long and how many of them it's taken to get this one dog off of this child. And the video does loop, so we'll stop it there. I got some quick statistics here from dogsbite.org, and you can see here in a 10-year period from 2005 to 2014 that two dog breeds, that's Rottweilers and Pit Bulls, accounted for 74% of the attacks that resulted in death. Of course, you can see here the frequency of attacks, the fatalities are speeding up. 71 in 10 years, 42% in 4 years, 24% in the past 2 years alone. Pit Bull Terriers are selectively bred for a violent activity that's a felony in all 50 states. And over 40 countries around the world regulate these dangerous dog breeds. The United States is not one of those. So a little background on this. I know from where Shannon and I live down there, the Humane Society, if you voluntarily surrender a pit bull, they euthanize it immediately. They won't adopt them out. If they come in from animal control, then they'll hold them for their 72-hour hold. If somebody doesn't claim them, they euthanize them. And it was a large pit bull here to neighbors that got me interested, and that's what maybe got me to thinking this might be a good topic for our last discussion. And I consulted videos, looked up statistics, read news articles, even a scholarly study on this. So let's define what a pit bull is and where it came from. There's some pictures of pit bull dogs. You can see this one's more heavily muscled than the others. They do have a name for that. I do not remember what that dog is called. It is a pit bull type dog though. And they were first recognized by the United Kennel Club in America in 1898. The American Kennel Club, the AKC, which more people are familiar with, recognized them in 1936. They call them the American Staffordshire Terrier. That is a pit bull. These dogs originated from bull baiting dogs. This was banned in Britain in 1835. What they'd done was they would tether a bull to the ground and they would stick bulldogs on it until they brought it down, either killing the animal or it was just too tired to continue. After it was prohibited, people started fighting the dogs, and that's what gave rise to the pit bull. They were imported into the United States before the Civil War, and as you can see here, a quote I found on realpitbull.com, that it was selectively bred, specifically the idea of it becoming the ultimate canine gladiator. That is a real photo of a dog fight between two pit bulls. It is by nowhere near the most disturbing one I found. So let's get some statistics on these attacks. As you can see, I highlighted pit bull and pit bull mixes in red. If you add up all the other breeds together, don't add up to what is caused by pit bulls in bodily harm, child victims, adult victims, deaths, maimings, the pit bulls win hands down. And that's even using the Rottweilers in with the others. So it's not just simply the dog's temperament being the propensity to attack, it's the capability to inflict serious injuries. These children here and this lady, they did nothing to provoke an attack. You know, this little girl, she's lost her scalp and her eye. This boy's lost a lot of the muscle tissue on his arm. This is a 3-year-old child that was attacked by a pit. You know, this lady over here, you look at the damage to her arm. These things this costs thousands of dollars. And as you'll hear, these dogs are pretty much not insurable. Who's going to pay for this? If you want a good analogy, I use is comparing a regular dog would be like fireworks and compare that to a pit bull, which would be a hand grenade. Or a regular dog might be a handsaw, and you could compare that to a pit bull, which would be more like a chainsaw. And they have short, thick snouts, thick skulls. They're hard to defend against when they attack. Who owns these dogs? Well, there was a study done in Cincinnati. I found it in the Journal of Interpersonal Violence. The owners of high-risk dogs, that would be like pit bulls, Rottweilers, are 6.8 times more likely to have been convicted of an aggressive criminal act, such as assault, aggravated burglary, cruelty to animals, resisting arrest. They're 2.5 more times likely to have been convicted of domestic violence or a crime against a child. Insurance. We mentioned insurance, and you can see due to this, I found this on thelawdictionary.com, due to the statistical likelihood of an attack on a guest or other visitor to your property, at best your insurance company will raise your rates. But like it says, in most cases, homeowners insurance providers simply won't issue homeowners insurance policies that include liability protection for pit bull bites. Now, I want to be fair to these dogs. There are millions of these things across the United States. Looked up on vetstreet.com. In 2012, pit bull terriers were among the top 3 breeds in 28 states and #1 in Rhode Island. Rhode Island had previously had pretty strict regulations on pit bulls. After they removed these, their numbers exploded. So now that we have a better understanding of the problem, what are some things we can do to protect ourselves, children, and grandchildren? Well, dogsbite.org and some other websites. What I found that the United States military bans pit bulls from all base housing. All the branches. If you live in base housing, you can't have a pit bull. I know my sister, where she manages down here at Knox County Housing Authority, they're not allowed in the Housing Authority. Over 700 municipalities ban or restrict ownership in the U.S. At least 7 of those are in Indiana. And there are many groups who oppose breed-specific legislation, like prohibiting or regulating pit bulls separately out from other dogs. But myself, I feel that that's about like the groups that opposed the anti-tobacco legislation back in the 80s and 90s. You don't hear about them anymore. What else can we do? We can educate our family and friends. We can voice our concerns to our legislators. I recommend people carry something like this. It's a pepper spray, which might give you some aid or help you come to the defense of somebody else against a dog attack. And since I presented quite a bit of information, let's wrap it up. And pit bulls, for review, they were selectively bred to fight. That's what they were designed to do. They're responsible for more injuries and deaths than nearly all other breeds combined. They're capable of inflicting more serious injuries than most breeds could ever inflict. They're more likely to be owned by criminals than other breeds. You probably can't get insurance, liability insurance on the dog. So if it does attack somebody, hey, if you can't pay and it's your dog, then they're going to have to come up with the cash or their health insurance. Or our government will end up subsidizing. And the United States military bans these from base housing. And Indiana does have civil and criminal penalties for dog attacks and or dog bite laws. But usually the owners are at most charged with a misdemeanor. And we need to put some teeth into these laws. So please contact your legislators and let them know your concerns. It's an election year. These people will be actually listening some, and we may not get anything done this year, but put a bug in there, maybe something can get done to end some of these breeds. And that's about all I have for this evening. If you have any more questions or anything, I appreciate y'all coming and see me after the presentation.